Indiana was going to win the game 24-0. They moved to 4-0 on this season. Purdue and Northwestern. Peyton Ramsey throwing to Ramad Jokia Bowman, who dives in for the 5-yard touchdown. Northwestern goes up 24-10. Watch the connection again. Here, take that and move. Northwestern will go on to win 27-20. Nebraska hosting Penn State early second quarter. Sean Clifford has the ball and he doesn't have the ball. He's stripped by Deontay Williams. He recovers and runs it in for the touchdown. Nebraska up 24-3. James Franklin can't believe it. Clifford stays done. Will Levis is in. Less than a minute to go. Penn State down 30-23. Levis to Parker Washington. First and down at the 9. Okay, later in the drive, we have 4th and goal. Down 7. Levis is going to be brought down. Pass incomplete. Nebraska holds on to win 30-23.
All of which brings us to Paul Finebaum. Always good to chat with him on a Sunday morning. So, Paul, let's go big picture here first. 15 COVID-related postponements or cancellations this week in college football. That is a full 1/4 of the games that were scheduled to take place. So, what is your perspective on the challenges that college football is facing?
Hannah, I think it's going to be a really difficult roller coaster from here on. And when we lost so many really big-time games, 3 of the top 5 teams went down. I think that what that indicates is that every week is going to be like that. The biggest culprit is contact tracing. Jimbo Fisher, the Texas A&M coach, told me the other day that he had 2 positive cases. He couldn't play a game. Next week's in jeopardy as well. So that's where we are. And I think we ought to be thankful that we've had a fantastic season with amazing games, but the next 6 weeks are going to be very dangerous.
Which makes it just so hard to sort everything out when you just take, college football in its own bubble. So Notre Dame, the only top 5 team in action, and Irish fans with a huge exhale. I was a little too close for comfort early, but let's get your rank and file, your top 4 teams in the country, and then a team that you're filing away that maybe could find its way into the playoff conversation. So start with number 4.
Yeah, Clemson's at number 4, and they have an opportunity, obviously, to move up. They're eyeing Notre Dame at the end of the season in the ACC championship game. But the bottom line is that Clemson is still a tremendous team, and Trevor Lawrence is back. Ohio State is next. And again, sadly, we didn't see them play Maryland. That was a game that a lot of folks were looking forward to. But Ohio State with Justin Fields will be back. As you mentioned, Notre Dame, they're the only one we got to see yesterday. And it was a typical hangover game. After the biggest win in many, many years in Notre Dame, they had some issues, but in the end, they looked very good. And that brings us to the team that has looked better than anyone. Alabama was supposed to be at Tiger Stadium last night in Baton Rouge, the game that we love to watch every year, and we didn't see that game. But the Tide are back next week, and they'll see Kentucky. My file team is Wisconsin. We haven't seen much of them. We saw them opening weekend of the Big Ten, and we saw them last night, and they have looked unbelievable. They still have a difficult climb, and I can't believe I'm about to say this. They have a critical game coming up this Saturday against Northwestern. That's how wacky the Big Ten is right now.
Oh, okay, but wait, back to your top 4 for just what is it going to take, Paul? What does Notre Dame have to do to be number 1 on your list?
They're not far from it, Hannah, and I know sometimes we go to the team we saw last. I don't think they have many deficiencies, but I think ultimately Notre Dame just has to keep doing what it's doing and maybe beat Clemson one more time.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay, so we'll wait for the ACC title game, and then Michigan off to their worst start since 1967. What does this mean for Jim Harbaugh?
More of the same. I mean, this is a coach that was once respected, and now, sadly, Jim Harbaugh has become a punchline in college football. It's almost impossible to watch this guy. He makes $8 million a year. He was the talk of the sport a couple of years ago, and now no one really knows what the future looks like. It looks pretty grim if Michigan decides to fire him, but a lot of people up there are saying they want to keep him. For what reason? I have no idea.
Yeah, he's saying I'm at the front of the line when it comes to accountability, so we'll see who holds him accountable. Paul, always great to chat football with you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Coming up, watch TDs against the Hogs, why Alabama needs to pay attention to these Gators. Plus, Indiana shuts out Michigan State, staying undefeated. And Wisconsin handing Michigan the program's worst home loss in 85 years. We detail the big shakeups to the Big Ten. And which rookie has the edge, Herbert or Tua? Can Russell Wilson continue to cook against the Rams defense? And Big Ben is back. Get you set for NFL Week 10.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. Nah, I'm messing with you.
Touchdown, Notre Dame! Kiffin just threw his clipboard 30 yards in the air!
That was funny.
Crazy.
Yeah, I love that.
Terrence Bud Crawford said this week, I've always felt that I'm number one pound for pound in the world. This is what I do. And what he did last night, he did. ESPN's number one pound for pound fighter living up to the billing, retaining his WBO welterweight title by beating Kell Brook by fourth round TKO. Crawford got off to a slow start, seemed to be feeling out Brook, but the fight flipped in round 3 when Crawford made the switch to southpaw and then put Brook away in the fourth, landing power punches at will until the referee decided that he had seen enough. See the power punches right there and right there, and the celebration. Crawford gets the win. Mama said knock you out. Mama also said watch SportsCenter on the Sunday morning with Hannah Storm and Jay Harris. Always listen to Mama.
Yes, I second that. All right, on a day that we have had marked for our calendars for a very long time, NFL Week 10 and the final round of the Masters. Pretty cool.
That ain't bad.
Yeah, but first, college football, the games that were played, we know 15 of them, a full 1/4 were canceled. Wisconsin and Michigan, first game for Wisconsin since October 23rd, and the first play from scrimmage for Michigan. Joe Milton rolling right and gets kicked off by Scott Nelson right away. A terrible start for Michigan. And then on their next possession, it's a 3rd and 17, and he's picked off again by Leo Chanel, bringing it down inside the 35. I recognize that cutout. Seen that cutout before. Meanwhile, Graham Mertz completing it to Mason Stockey for the touchdown. Wisconsin, 129 total yards in the first quarter alone, and Michigan, they only had 1. Wisconsin now up 21-0, first and goal. Nakia Watson in from 10, 2 touchdowns in the first half. Now it's a 28-0 game. Here we go, 4th and goal for Michigan. Are you kidding me? I mean, Milton stuffed short in the end zone. They turn it over on downs. That halftime deficit is their largest at home since the stadium opened in 1927. And Mertz finding Jake Ferguson. Wisconsin wins 49-11. Here is Harbaugh.
We were thoroughly beaten in every phase. Didn't really do anything well. Did not play good. Did not coach good. Not in a good place with the execution. Not in a good place as a football team right now, and that falls on me. We're communicating. Are we coaching it well enough? There's nothing right now to say that an acceptable job is being done right now. You gotta evaluate all things, everything that we're doing. Everybody's got to do better, and as I said, I'm at the front of the line in accountability.
Much more on Jim Harbaugh and Michigan coming up in the show, but think about this. 38-point loss, tied for their second worst in the last 100 years.
Wow.
After entering the season as the preseason number 16, they are 1-3. Their worst 4-game start to a season since 1967, the only season in school history with a worst 4-game start back in 1928, Jay.
Hannah, let's go to Kyle Trask in Florida, hosting Felipe Franks in Arkansas. Second quarter, Trask looking for Justin Shorter, finds him, touchdown. Florida pushing its lead 21-7. Ensuing Gator drive leads now 21-14. Trask scanning the field, sees Jacob Copeland because Jacob Copeland's wide open. Trask's 4th touchdown pass of the first half. Florida up 28-14. Closing seconds of the half. Trask back again looking for Keon Zipperer. 5th touchdown pass of the half. First Florida QB to throw 5 TDs and a half since Felipe Franks in 2018. Florida freshman QB
guys playing later today.
Yep. Hey, 4 of the best words in sports. Sunday at the Masters.
It's going to be very interesting. So will the steady world number 1, Dustin Johnson, will he continue to play nearly flawless golf? Because 4 times previously in majors, he's actually been in front or tied for the lead after 54 holes. But he didn't close it out with a win.
No, he didn't.
We shall see. Michael Eaves leading our coverage from Augusta.
Hannah, Jay, good morning. And yes, Jay, it took us a while, more than 580 days, but we finally made it to Sunday at the Masters. There's a look